Hello, Security, and welcome back to Let's Play Splatoon 3. In the previous episode, we started off our explorations at the Eco Forest Tree Hills. And today, you may be wondering, well, what are you doing back over here, you silly gator? This is a previous world. You're stupid, and you're probably smelly. Well, first of all, rude. I took a shower this morning. But also, you may notice that there was another pipe over here back in the, whatever this place was called. It was on screen a moment ago and I already forgot because I'm an old man. If you're going down this pipe is ridiculously long. It's longer than my attention span. Whoa, close-up view of the fuzziest rocket in history to your right. I don't know if I can ever wrap myself in a fuzzy blanket again after seeing this. It is very, very fluffy. I want to touch it. So yeah, this pipe will let us bypass the previous world and go straight to the Eco Forest Tree Hills. It's a neat idea, but here's my problem with it. Why does it skip the world that's required? Because, like, I feel like, I might be wrong about this, but I feel like you do have to fight all the boss fights to, you know, finish the story mode. And that pipe bypasses the world that has the boss. And not just that, but also the best boss in the entire freaking game. Because it's Shiver, and Shiver is hot, and Shiver is sexy, and Shiver is hot. Did I mention that Shiver is hot? Because Shiver is hot.
And this mission, you will not have a chance to finish reading the text before I click the button too quickly, you silly goose.
Alright, let's go! Eevee and Pikachu. This level is going to have some Octo Discos, which are going to be pretty fun to deal with. But unfortunately, I'm going to be using the bow and arrow again. Why isn't this a better weapon? Like, I know I've talked about this story already in a previous episode, but it just bothers me so much that they made a bow and arrow in this game, and it sucks. This is a big thing that I was super excited for with Splatoon 3 when it was first announced. Like, a bow and arrow is just awesome. I can use a bow and arrow in real life. I'm a fairly decent... Oh, excuse me, that was a disgusting noise. And I can't easily edit that out because this is post commentary. So we're just gonna keep on going. I probably could have edited that out if I didn't make a big deal out of it. But I will just roll with it. So, I'm a fairly decent archer in real life. And I have a bit of an affinity for bows and arrows and stuff like that. And I was really excited to use one in Splatoon. But then I tried it out and I was like, oh, this isn't great. I don't like this very much. Why did they ruin this awesome idea? And they could have at least had one sub-weapon version of it that was decent. Like, I'm not too fond of the Brella weapons, like the Brella class, but the Undercover Brella is pretty awesome because the annoying thing about the Brella weapons is that I don't like the fact that you, like when you hold on the button, you release the Brella forward. That's a big problem that I have with it. So I like the Undercover Umbrella because you can still hold on the button. And even if the shield doesn't go forward or the shield isn't as strong, you still at least get some kind of shield. I wish there was some kind of variant like that for the bow that has like at least one good kit. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I know there's been a lot of great splat bow player thingamabobs out there that've done great things with this weapon. I'm not one of those people. I'm not smart enough for that. Final checkpoints. I think what I personally would have done differently if I was in charge of making this weapon, I would have kept the idea of having you charge it up before you fire, because that's just how a bow and arrow works. What I would have done instead was have the arrow like spiral some ink as it fires outwards, and the further you charge it, the further it goes, and it can and it has the potential of like one-shotting an opponent, but it takes a little while to charge up to do that. That's personally what I would have done, but that wasn't the case for this. My problem with this is that I don't like that, like how unreliable the arrows feel. So you have to charge it up, and then it fires into a wall, and then it explodes. And it's a cool concept, and I'm sure if I played around with it more, I'd get better with it. But I don't like playing with this thing in Alterna, and I definitely don't like playing with it when I'm playing online. So this is something that I don't really feel the need to try to get better with, and that's the unfortunate thing about it. The actual discos are a pretty cool enemy, though. So, we've seen, I believe we've seen them before already. But the big gimmick with them is that they have a force field protecting some other Octarian bad guy. So you destroy them first, and then you can freely destroy the Octarian. So, it's a pretty neat villain, evil person thingamabob. So, yeah, they're pretty neat. I like them. And they're adorable. It is very important that you have an adorable villain. If you make a bad guy in a game and none of them are adorable, then you failed as a game designer. Like, how? You might as well change careers at that point. You should do the most you should do the most despicable career change of all time. A part-time job at the Sizzlers. I know where I was going with that. I was gonna make a cast member joke, but then I was like, oh wait, no, I probably shouldn't do that because being a cast member is awesome. And then I couldn't think of anything else, so I just thought of like a Weird Al quote. Everything started looking up to me because about a week later I got finally fulfilled my lifelong dream. That's right, I got a part-time job at the Sizzler. I even got employee of the month after I put out the grease fire with my face. Everybody was pretty jealous of me after that. I was getting a lot of attitude. Oh man. So I used to ride a bike to work, and on the last stretch of it, I'd always think of that song from Weird Al. Like I would always try to mentally recreate Albuquerque as much as I possibly could. I wanted to see how far into the song I could get before I could get home, and usually I got pretty close. Like that part of the grease fire was probably like the last part that, like the furthest I got before I got home. So yeah, it was a pretty cool thing in the background. Yeah. Albuquerque is a pretty fun song from Weird Al. Back when I was a little bitty boy, living in a box under the stairs in a basement in the corner. I have a block from Jerry's bait shop. You know the place. Well, back then, everything was real swell, and everything was just peachy! Except for, of course, the undeniable fact that every single morning, my mother would make me a big old bowl of sauerkraut for breakfast. Ah, big bowl of sauerkraut! Every single morning! It's driving me crazy! Like, my mom said, hey, Mom, what's up with all the sauerkraut? My dear sweet mother, she just looks at me like a cow looks at an oncoming train. And she leans down next to me. And she says, it's good for you! I have a lot of fond memories listening to Weird Al music. One of my favorite memories of all time, just in general, not even music related, was the fact that my sister and I, Meanie Beanie, whenever we go get food for everybody, I will admit my family has always had a bit of a bad habit of going to fast food places too much, and like yeah, that was a bad habit, but it was something that I always really loved doing with my family. And my favorite memory was whenever Meanie Beanie and I would go get food. Like it'd be late at night, and we're like, okay, nobody wants to cook. We've all had a long day. Let's go get McDonald's or something like that. So Meanie Beanie and I would always get secret French fries. Where like we'd get like one large fry for both of us to share on the ride home, and I just always loved doing that. It's one of my favorite memories of all time. Whenever we entered into the drive-thru, we'd also try to play Weird Al song stuck in the drive-thru to see how far along into the song we could get before we got the food. And, I love that so much. It's one of my favorite memories of all time. I took a bite and I just can't believe it. They forgot the onions. It's such a stupid song. It's so overly long. It is way too long. But it's such a good one. It is such a silly song. I love it so much. Alright, we're getting into the home stretch for this level, so everything is going to be all fine. Everything is sweet. Everything is grand. I've got the whole wide world in the palm of my hand. Everything is perfect. Falling into place. I can't seem to wipe this smile off my face. Life's a happy song when there's someone by your side to sing along. Why is this a musical episode? I guess it's the Splatoon musical. Not gonna lie, if they did make a Splatoon musical, I'd probably watch it. There needs to be a Splatoon movie. Like, they're definitely going to be making Mario movies to the end of time now with how successful they've become. But they need to make a Splatoon movie at some point. There's just so much good lore they could do with it. And, oh my god, they have to do it at some point. Going back to the Muppets, though, for a moment. Singing the song from that movie, thinking about this. So, they recently came out with the Muppets on like a new Disney Plus special. there was like a kind of like a continuation of the old Muppet shows, and it was really cool. They had Sabrina Carpenter on there, and when they saw that, like, I was thinking that's like the best of both worlds for like my two best friends, because one of them was a hardcore Sabrina Carpenter fan, the other one's a hardcore Muppets fan, and man, I really wish we could have watched it together in person, but like seeing that, I was like, oh yay, it's something they both would like. That special was so good. I loved it so much. The music was great. And I love the rivalry between Miss Piggy and Sabrina Carpenter. Like, I see your wig copies my hair. I'm not wearing a wig. Neither am I. My favorite joke, and I can't believe we got away with this, but it's also Muppets, and they always have a history of like kind of more risque jokes as well. Was when Kermit the Frog was all like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we'll work out a few kinks." Oh, that's okay. I love a good kink. It is such a silly joke, but I love it so much. It was so good. Oh man, I do hope they make it like a full show for that. They probably won't because Disney hates everybody, but oh man, that was a really good special. I'm really happy that they made it. We're approaching the end of the level at some point in the future, perhaps. One last thing I talk about Muppets real quick, and I know for a fact I talked about this in previous videos, but I feel the need to talk about it again. So we're talking about it again. I had a dream a long time ago. This was back when I first started working at Disney, so sometime in 2021 or something like that. And to put it into context in a way that like doesn't spoil magic or anything like that, the walkway that I use to get to work every day, it also leads to the backstage area for where Muppets used to be. And I had a dream one time that I was walking down that way. I had to walk on stage for a little bit for some reason, but like I was walking through the backstage of the Muppets area, and there's a song that's playing over the intercom, and it's very obviously Kermit the Frog's voice, and it bugs me that I can't remember how the rest of the song goes, but I remember the song was about forks, and the thing that I distinctly remember is Kermit the Frog going all like, "Da-na-na-na-na-na, forks, forks, forks." I wish I could remember what the full song was. Like, in the dream, I remember very clearly that it was a full song. Like, it was a full 3.5-minute song with actual lyrics and a story and stuff, and it was about forks. But the only thing I can remember is Kermit the Frog going, "Da-na-na-na-na-na, forks, forks, forks." When I told Minnie Bean that story, she started singing that for her baby to get her to go to sleep. And I still have this audio recording of the two of them singing the song. And it's like, "Da-na-na-na-na-na, forks, forks, forks." Oh, that's another one of my more personal favorite memories. This part right here gets a little bit irritating because I don't remember what these guys are called, so I'm gonna call them Jeffrey. So the Jeffreys, they'll like continuously try to jump up and down on their face and create a shockwave everywhere, which can be a little bit on the irritating side to avoid. So yeah, honestly, you don't have to fight all these guys. You're probably better off just making a mad dash to the end, honestly. Ah, here comes their friend. F is for friends who die together. U is for you are dead. N is for no survivors when you complete the end. I'm so stupid. But now taking care of all that, it's time to move on to the magical land of alternate save file. Whoosh! Tower control and Humpback pump track. I want my mommy. Alright, well, we got a bucket. And you know what? Buckets? Buckets make everything better. Buckets make everything better, so decided by me. And me is the person who is talking. So I say I'm correct. Alright, we got the tower. Alright, we got the checkpoint. I'm a little worried about that line right there being directly above the checkpoint. That's a little unnerving. Alright. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Okay. Tricky fish, tricky fish. Tricky fish. It's quite worse than the shark. I hate this planet. How did he do that? Lion current jabbering gibberish. Yeah, we did it. Oh, that person was waving on the side. That was cute. I am shocked that we got that. I thought we were going to get destroyed because I don't care for Humpback Pump Track. But you know what? You know what? I will take that victory. I will gladly take that victory. Marlin Airport. Marlin Airport. Marlin Airport. Marlin Airport. Yay! We go out and back in. And then we go out and back in. And then we go out and back in. And sometimes if you want to do it 4 times, out and back in. This seat looks really different on Tower Control. Alright then, let's continue onwards. I haven't seen this on Tower Control. Ah, we went very high. I have not seen this on Tower Control before, so this is going to be an interesting learning experience. I will finally learn how to divide by 4. I don't know where I was going with that. So, this might maybe sound stupid, but for the longest time, I struggled with the concept of division. Because whenever I was trying to learn it in school, the teachers would always explain it as, like, you know how addition and subtraction are opposites? Multiplication and division are opposites as well. And I was like, that's great, but that doesn't tell me anything. I think it wasn't until somebody explained to me how, you know how on Survivor they have 2 teams of 9? That's how you do division. You take that group of people and divide it into 2 teams, and it's 9 in total, and that's how you do the thing. I don't know how effective the rain thing is going to be. Oh! I might have wanted to save that. I don't want to save that. Okay. Behind the pillar. This is a nice weapon to have on this because, like, the bubble arc can go around the central pillar of the tower. So, that's pretty nice and convenient. Okay, never mind. I was about to say you need to stay alive, but they didn't feel like being an alive person anymore. Going back to math real quick, a bit of an amusing story. So, to this day, I still have a bit of a hard time, like, multiplying certain numbers off the top of my head, because the way I learn math, like, the way I do math is patterns, and, like, I have a bit of a hard time, like, doing the pattern for counting by 8s and 7s off the top of my head. So, yeah, some things like that can be a little bit tricky for me. But 9s are pretty easy because the first number goes up and the second number goes down, and then you just continue that way. So it's like 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. My brain is special. My mommy said I'm special. And now taking care of all that, we're the video off here. So you guys want to watch the video for Splatoon 3? And next time, later gator to you. Oh yeah.